So it is almost the end of the year. Tomorrow will be 2012 and not 2011. And I kind of wanted to see how I'm going to be next year in comparison to this year. So I have a couple questions which I'm going to ask myself, and I'm going to answer them this year, and then next year, and the year after that, 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 until I stop answering the questions, just to see how I change every year. So let's begin. What is your favorite color?
Seriously? You're choosing questions to have yourself answer every year for the rest of your life, and this is what you've come up with?
What is your favorite animal?
Genius. This video is going to be pretty different from what I've been doing on this channel lately. I'll be back to video essays next time, but I want to keep this tradition going, so let's get self-indulgent and navel-gazy. It's now my 11th year answering questions for my 12-year-old self, and a lot has changed this year. Most visibly, I've accepted my tragic fate of becoming a bald man. I graduated from college, I started trying to do YouTube full-time, I moved to California, which is unrelated to the YouTube thing, to be clear, though I do fully recognize that they're more embarrassing in combination. Last year, I opened this video with a shot of me walking across a frozen lake. This year, I can film outside in a t-shirt in December. This is the first year where I'm quite confident that if 12-year-old me saw me, he would now fully perceive me as an adult. This yearly tradition has come to define my sense of self in a lot of ways. It's the time each year in which I interact most directly with my past. I watch through all the previous iterations as I'm preparing these videos. I remember how my life was when I was making them. I get nostalgic. I cringe a little bit. I both see how I've changed and get a sense of myself as continuous and stable. My past selves provide me with a narrative of personal growth. So let's run through that narrative quickly. Here are the past me's who you'll be encountering throughout this video. You've already met 2011 me, fresh out of the womb. Then we have 2012 me, a middle schooler longing desperately to be perceived as older than he is. 2013 me, coming at us with huge nerd energy.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Doctor Who and Sherlock, Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, Iron Man's 1 and 3.
2014 me, who's just discovered the joys of sarcasm. 2015 me, a quirky gay Tumblr teen. 2016 me, not the best hair dye job, if we're being honest. 2017 me, the closest I've gotten to micro-celebrity. My YouTube channel was starting to grow in 2017, and then I killed the momentum because I stopped uploading as much because I went to college and got an education. My 2017 video remains the most viewed and liked of my New Year's videos, but I'm pretty sure we can beat it this year. We just need 315 views and 62 likes. All I want is to be more famous than my 18-year-old self. Moving on, 2018 me. He's, depressed. 2019 me, going to parties and socializing and dancing in large crowds of people. Sounds pretty good. 2020 me, coronavirus purgatory. And now, here we are. A through line is that all of these past versions of me were making YouTube videos. The little Gen Z narcissists. When making these videos in past years, I often haven't fully acknowledged that they are YouTube videos. The audience for them has never just been my future self. It's also been you, my viewers, real or imagined, usually imagined. I've now been posting videos to YouTube for more than half of my life. The first was a Lego-mation I made with my brother titled Lego Enterrment, which I think is supposed to be entrapment, because enterrment is not a word. The New Year's videos are the main ones that have lived on from those early days, but I've uploaded over 1,000 YouTube videos in my life across at least 10 different YouTube channels. Most of those are now privated, don't go looking. That first year, 2011, I asked my future selves these questions at the conclusion of a week in which I had been uploading videos daily. In addition to the New Year's video, there are also hits like this.
I watched Horden Hears a Who recently. I really liked the movie, and I found the very ending of it very interesting.
A video analyzing an animated kids movie, way ahead of its time.
I use children's cartoons as philosophical analogies far too often.
No, you do not. Monetize this shit. YouTube had a very different meaning to me when I was 12 than it does now. I wasn't trying to make a job out of my videos. They were mostly just for my own amusement and a handful of internet friends. But still, those early videos that are now so central to my sense of self were also content. I can see the influence of the YouTubers I was watching in them. My early presentation style felt deeply molded by the Vlogbrothers and Charlie Is So Cool-like. The videos were public performances for an imagined YouTube audience, and I've come to see myself through the personas that I crafted. There's been a lot of discussion on YouTube in recent years about parasocial relationships, in which viewers come to feel that they know the creators they watch based only on their filtered online self-presentation. I think I have a parasocial relationship with myself. I'm my 12-year-old self's biggest fan. I've been watching his content for over 10 years. I know everything about him. His favorite color, his favorite animal. We're like best friends. I might tease him sometimes, but it's all in good fun. And I know he probably wouldn't even recognize me, but I want him to know me as well as I know him. So let's answer his questions.
What is your favorite color?
Purple.
What is your favorite animal?
Turtle.
What friend group do you see the most often?
My roommates, Fami and Sebastian.
Every morning, I wake up and I'm just full of rage and disappointment at the actions that Théo is taking.
What job do you want to have?
The plan was to become YouTube famous at 14 and drop out of high school. I want to be a YouTube influencer who promotes vaping to children. You know, the plan was that by the time I graduated from college, I'd be a world famous YouTuber and they'd give me a book deal and a TV show. Haha, wow, what funny jokes. Yeah, I want to be a YouTuber.
And now, for Inside Jokes Power Round.
I can't think of many inside jokes this year, but I have these costume elements.
What is your favorite book?
When I answered these kinds of questions when I was 12, I had a tendency to just say whatever I had most recently read or watched. Like for favorite movie.
I'm not really sure. What comes to mind is Where the Wild Things Are, but that might just be because I saw it recently.
And for favorite book, I said a book that I was still in the process of reading.
I'm not really sure. I haven't actually finished it yet. But so far, going bovine.
I think part of it was that art was just sorta new to me. When I had encountered less movies and books, it was easier for them to feel wholly original, for me to not have experienced anything like them before. I sorta envy that. But anyway, in recent years, I've reinterpreted these questions. I'm not going to be giving my #1 all-time favorites. Instead, I'm going to give a few of my favorites that I engaged with in this past year. This is like the recommendation section, basically. I've recently been reading a lot of books written in or set in the Bay Area, since that's where I'm living currently. So I read How to Write an Autobiographical Novel, an essay collection by Alexander Chee that includes some great essays about his time as a Korean-American gay man in San Francisco during the AIDS crisis, Reality Sandwiches, a poetry collection by Allen Ginsberg, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, a Philip K. Dick sci-fi story set in post-apocalyptic San Francisco. I also have 2 favorite academic books that I read this year. Dark Matters by Simone Brown examines the relationship between contemporary surveillance practices and the historical surveillance of blackness. And Experimental Games by my former professor Patrick Jagoda examines the connection between games, gamification, and the logic of neoliberalism. Which brings me to, what were your favorite games this year? Amori is an RPG about a group of childhood friends navigating a magical dream world. I feel like I'm doing like a sponsorship right now. Like, this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Anyway, Amori juxtaposes its cutesy, quirky, colorful adventure with devastating psychological horror. It is at turns funny, scary, and moving.
What music have you been listening to?
You should stay real close to Jesus. Keep that bottle in your hand, my man.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Leave me out on the steps, dress me up like a boy. I'm the masculine American man.
what is your favorite movie?
The Painter and the Thief is a documentary about the friendship that develops between Barbara, an artist, and Bertel, a man who stole her artwork. In one of the most memorable scenes, Bertel sees a painting that Barbara has made of him and is overwhelmed by the beauty that she saw in him. We see how Bertel comes to see himself differently through Barbara's vision of him, and later in the movie, we see how Barbara too comes to see herself differently through Bertel's eyes. These New Year's videos present me entirely through my own eyes, and I am increasingly aware of their limitations as a means of self-documentation. These are videos of me presenting who I supposedly am each year, but that presentation is necessarily incomplete because there's plenty of myself that I don't see.
What do you do often?
What do I do often?
Make loud noises that scare the cat.
Yeah, you stomp around and then you scare the cat.
I don't
and then
stomp
she doesn't.
around.
Yeah, you do.
You make like twice.
I'm very graceful.
You make
It's
like
not
twice
true.
as much noise as Demi and I combined.
You complain about like things that people say on the internet. You tell me about some like fucking bullshit that I don't know anything about. Like you're talking about like, oh, like some fucking like congresswoman did this, and I'm like, who is that?
It's just 'cause
You know, and then you're like, oh, like you know that game that all the YouTubers advertise, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Raid, Shadow Legend.
You walk or run a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're always out of the house, and so whenever I have to ask you what you want from the grocery store, you're never here.
Uh-huh.
You're like just another
That's
opportunity to complain. I think the easiest way to sum it up is you do a lot of things that Demi complains about.
Okay, closing questions.
How is your life right now?
It's going all right. I'm in my lost and directionless early 20s period. Imagine like a sort of mediocre, quirky, coming-of-age indie film by a first-time director that's in black and white for no clear reason. That's how I've been feeling, I would say.
How do you think your life will be at this time next year?
I have no idea.
What did you say about that question last year?
I don't know. I have no idea.
And were you correct?
I was correct. I did not know. I'm sorry to my 12-year-old self, but I just don't know what you want from some of these questions. These are the first years when I've had truly no sense of what my next year will look like. For most of my life, each year, I've been pretty sure that the next year I would be in school. Now, no clue. My goals for next year, I want to read 30 books. I haven't finished yet at the time of filming, but I think I will, so let's check in with editing me. Yeah, did that. I want to start running regularly again. I did that too. I run around this lake. I want to watch 30 documentaries. No, I watched 25. I want to make 120 minutes of new YouTube content, average 10 minutes a month. I got halfway there with just my video about F-Boy Island, so yeah, no problem. Next year, I want to read 7,000 pages. There are some longer books I want to read, so I'm doing a page goal instead of a book goal. And I want to listen to 30 albums in like an active listening sense, not just background music. Okay, that's it. That's the video. This is who I was in 2021. I guess.
Hello, kitty. Kitty.
That's that yourself.
Thank you for watching. If this is the first video you're seeing from me, I usually make video essays about media and the internet and other things sometimes. My two best videos this year, in my opinion, were I Wanna Be a YouTuber and a deep dive into F-Boy Island. So check those out if you haven't seen them. Also, if you're interested in the books that I mentioned in this video, I have my own little bookstore on bookshop.org where you can find those and all of the books that I've mentioned in these New Year's videos since I was 12. There are also some other miscellaneous book lists there, including some books that I've cited in recent videos. If you buy a book there, 10% of your money goes to me, 10% goes to independent bookstores, and none of it goes to Amazon.